She provides comfortable and convenient dental care, all while using the latest and greatest technology. Today's guest is Dr. Rebeca Zechmann from River Landing Dentistry.
This is Charleston Women Podcast, where you can meet like-minded, strong, independent, professional, and inspiring local women. This is Charleston Women Podcast.
Now we would like to welcome to the Charleston Women Podcast, Dr. Rebeca Zechmann from River Landing Dentistry. Dr. Zechmann, thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yes, I love talking to folks, to women, and learning, more about your story. First of all, let's start with River Landing Dentistry. Tell me a little bit about, obviously you're a dentist, but what you guys do and maybe what makes you a little different.
Yeah, of course. So we are a general dentistry practice here in the Charleston area. We're a group practice, so we've got multiple dentists, and we also have a couple of locations, so multi-location. I think what makes us really unique is we offer compassionate care that's transparent, and we have extended hours, so extended evening hours and weekend hours. And I think that those three things combined kind of makes us a little bit unique. We have a lot of advanced technology in all of our offices, so that's really important to us to stay cutting edge, and it's just a unique time in dentistry and in many other industries where you get a lot of convergence of technologies coming together. I would also say that we're very collaborative, so being a group practice, having multiple dentists, it's a very collaborative learning environment where we can lean on each other, or, if I go to something interesting, I can bring that information back to the group. So that's a big benefit. And I would also say, our vision is really to positively influence people by providing compassionate dental care. So it's our goal to positively touch the lives of our coworkers and the lives of our patients every day. And so that's really boils down to your experience as a patient in the practice.
Right.
And we want you to have a positive experience.
I love that. And, you're the one, this is your practice. You started this.
Yeah.
Was that your vision? I love that you keep saying compassionate care from day one when you're like, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to grow it. Has that always been, the overarching vision of what you wanted?
Yes. So I, strangely enough, I have a lot of dental anxiety myself, which is crazy because I'm a dentist, so I know exactly what's happening. But, I really wanted an environment where you felt like you weren't at the dentist as much as possible. So, just TVs on the ceiling, you walk in, it doesn't feel like a medical office. It feels more like your living room. Just some other amenities that we have that try to take you out of that space as much as possible, because, not everybody likes to visit the dentist, and I understand and respect that and can empathize with that, not just sympathize. So it was always our endeavor to be compassionate, and sometimes it takes a lot for someone to just get into our door, and to provide really like a high level of expert dental care as well. That's very important to us. And I would say from the beginning, the vision was always to have a multi-doctor, multi-location practice. I always wanted to practice with other dentists. I didn't want to be in a practice by myself. I think that there's so much learning that comes out of practicing together, and that's really important. So yeah, the answer is yes from the beginning.
Full confession, you seem lovely. I don't like going to the dentist either, like most people. What's the difference though that you see in creating that unique atmosphere? I love that you said that it feels more like a living room, that you're not in a dental office. Is the experience obviously much better for people and they're not as anxious or nervous to come back?
Yeah. And obviously the setting helps, it's a new, it's fresh, it's inviting, but I would say when it comes to building the trust with the patient or with whomever is sitting in front of you, it just boils down to listening and letting that person be heard, and coming up with a plan together. So, there's a lot of transparency in why we're doing or why we're recommending something. And our technology helps us show that transparency. We can put things up on the screen, or we can show a digital scan, or we can take a picture. So there's a lot of showing and co-discovery, I would say, where it's not just, I think that builds the trust. And then when you feel that trust, then it's like, okay, I'm going to let someone basically do microsurgery on my mouth while I'm awake. So, it's like, we're going to be so close. Our faces are going to be so physically close together. And I mean, that alone can make somebody anxious just to have somebody in their personal space that much.
Yeah, especially since COVID, right? I think we've all reevaluated the closeness levels.
Podcasting has exploded in popularity, especially local podcasts. As of 2022, 62% of Americans have listened to a podcast. 38% have listened in the last month. 26% in the last week. The podcasting audience is booming with no signs of slowing down. Call the podcast hotline to be featured on these podcasts or to receive information about podcast marketing. Call 843-530-0403 or visit carolinapodcasts.com.
You're listening to the Charleston Women Podcast.
I want to talk to you about, obviously you have the compassionate care, you make people feel good, you build that trust, but about the business angle, you said that you wanted to have multiple dentists working with you, but scaling to multiple locations. Where are you right now? And do you have the potential for growth for, adding on to locations?
Yes, 100% on the growth. We are opening an office in Mount Pleasant at the end of this, probably like Q3, early Q4 of this year. And we're also opening simultaneously an office in Knightsville. We currently have the Daniel Island office and a Nexton office, which is kind of on the other side of Somerville. And we're constantly looking to grow, because in the end, like the more that we can grow, the more that we can positively influence people. And that's really what we want to do. So, as a dentist, I care deeply about connecting with patients. I care deeply about our employees and our team. But from a business standpoint, I would say, like, I think that there's a lot of opportunity in the Charleston area, and it's an exciting time for Charleston. It's growing at such a fast pace. And I think there's, I don't know, I did one and then we kept going, and I did two and we kept going, and I was like, we could do more of this. So I think obviously you've got a couple, like your business processes, and, if, as a female owner, not only a dentist, but a business owner, you've got to always be working on the business in addition to in the business. And so having other doctors in the practice allows me to do that, and having a really supportive husband and, team at home also, like, really helps me do that.
Right. I love when I see business owners like yourself who have scaled effectively and have had such success. Do you have a mentor, or do you, because your dentistry is almost, it's obviously, medical, but also I find dentists sometimes are creative, right? Is that a fair statement? But also you have the business savvy that not everyone possesses. So how did you come to that? Was it mentorship, or you just had it naturally?
Okay. Well, I would say there's a lot of everything. There's all of that. So, I was kind of took that leadership role growing up as a child, ringleader of the neighborhood kids, and, president of this or that. So I've always kind of had that gusto to lead and do those things, and do more. Yeah. And, I would say in terms of a mentor, like, I've had amazing mentors on the dental aspect from a clinical standpoint, that have been influential in my development as a doctor. In terms of development of myself as a business owner, it's been a lot of live and learn. I would say that my husband, he works in finance, and he has a lot of ability to lean on him for the big financial discussions and questions. We are actually implementing a system called EOS with Traction right now. So, we've got someone that's helping us do that. I'm a member of Strategic Coach, which is a coaching business. They've got a worldwide coaching business. Mm-hmm. So I have, and those are all recent. I would say earlier on, like, these programs aren't cheap. So it was more just kind of live and learn. But as we've scaled and the organization has gone from, managing 5 to 8 people where I can have a hand and a pulse on all that, to now we're almost 40 in the organization. Obviously, I can't personally manage 40 people. And so that's where you've got to develop out all those processes and systems and spend a lot of time on the business and a lot of time in, directing where you want to see things go and having all this written down for people. So it's been fun.
Yeah.
I love my team, and at work and at home, because I feel like I've got both. And I juggle, I'm a mom, I'm a business owner. I work in the business too. So it's been a ride.
You've got a lot of balls in the air, juggling all of them at once, as most of us feel that way, right? Just a lot. If I just drop 2 of the 5, we're okay today. I do want to ask, I have a 10-year-old daughter who says for a long time now that she wants to be a dentist. She's got all the dental molds on her dresser. Like, I find it a little odd, but she's into it. So for any young aspiring dentist out there, what advice would you give? I would say just, obviously you can work hard, study hard, all those things to get into dental school, but to really shadow, 10 is a little young, but as in high school, we're looking to hire a high schooler right now, to come work in the office after school. So, to get into a dental office and really make sure that it's what you want, because, I think the movies kind of portray dentists as, maybe not exactly what it is. Right.
And so, it's hard work. It's physically demanding. It's fast paced. There's a lot of decision making that happens, and a lot of listening, active listening. So, and when you couple that with a lot of sometimes business responsibilities as well, that aren't taught in dental school, it can be a lot. And so I've had a handful of people that have come through the office and worked for us for maybe a year or a summer to see if it was what they wanted to do. I've also had dental students that have worked for us over the summers that they have some breaks. So the best thing I would say is to get some real, some real-time mentorship or shadowing experience, or even work experience in a dental office to see if it's something that she's, really passionate about. It's a great career. I will
send her your way in 8 years or so.
Yeah, a little bit older. Yeah, I mean, I feel like
she's really good. She's really good at video and social media, so maybe she can.
Yeah, and that's a big thing now. That's a big thing.
I have to keep up. One of my last questions, and I love asking this. We have obviously women listening to this podcast, a lot of business owners, a lot of moms. I find it fascinating to ask a woman such as yourself, what is your morning routine? Because I'm a firm believer, how you start your day kind of sets you up for everything else. So I just love hearing if you have any routine, anything quirky, any advice you can give.
So not really. I have a live-in nanny, so she helps with my kids. But I don't, and as many women who are business owners and moms may relate to this, I have definitely obviously sacrificed the time that I could have with my kids to be a business owner. So I don't get to see them that much. So my morning routine is, I get up when they get up. I mean, I get up at 6, so it's not terribly early, so that I can spend time. I have 3 children, 10, 8, and 4. And so my 4-year-old, I don't know how we got started on this. I think it was when he was 2, but he has a little cup of coffee, and I have my cup of coffee, and we each have our biscotti, and he doesn't drink the coffee, but he dips his cookie, his coffee, he calls it his coffee cookie. He dips his coffee cookie. So we sit down in the morning, and he and I have our little cookie, and the girls eat breakfast. And, so that's kind of my morning. My morning is, I want to spend it with the kids. And then, my nanny takes them off to school and we go our separate ways. And then also we recently moved to Georgetown, and so I actually spend a couple nights downtown or on Daniel Island.
Okay.
And so the mornings that I'm not there, obviously I'm not there, and I get up and I work, and it's go time. But I would say my mornings are really trying to dedicate to have a little bit of time with my kids first thing.
I love that. I love the cup of coffee and the biscotti and spending all the time with them now while they want to.
Yeah.
10 is my youngest, and as they get a little bit older, like they're not into you as much as they used to be. So treasure it. That's so sweet. I love it.
Yeah.
Anything else you would like to offer to our listeners or viewers today?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say to, follow your dreams and, lean on all the people that you can lean on to help you, because I 100% did not do this by myself. And so to make sure to ask for help and delegate when it gets tough and, you need help. So, yep. And I think that there's so much opportunity in Charleston that if you have an idea, you should just run with it right now.
Go for it. People can find you at riverlandingdentistry.com, also Facebook and Instagram at River Landing Dentistry. Mm-hmm. And if, someone's new to town or maybe just looking to make a switch, like you resonated with me with a comfortable setting, like lower anxiety, can they just call to come in for, that first appointment?
Yep. You can call, you can text, or you can also book online. So you can book directly online.
All right. Yeah. Dr. Rebeca Zechmann with River Landing Dentistry. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. And this has been the Charleston Women Podcast.
Thanks for spending time with Charleston Women Podcast. Please like us and follow us on whatever platform you're using to access Charleston Women Podcast.